What's up, everybody? Hey, it's Charles from HumbleMechanic.com, and today we're talking about the why and the how on replacing cabin pollen filters. All right, so the location of the pollen filter definitely varies car to car. Today we're going to be working on my Volkswagen Passat, and I teamed up with the folks at Fram to show you guys how to replace the filter as well as give you some tips to make the job go even easier. The great thing about replacing pollen filters is it's usually really fast, under 10 to 15 minutes, and typically doesn't require many or any tools at all. Now, the purpose of a cabin air filter, or pollen filter as I usually call it, is to filter the air coming into your vehicle. This provides cleaner air inside the cabin when you use your heat, when you use your air conditioning, or even when you have the system off on an open flow design. Now you may be thinking, Charles, why do I even need to filter this air? It's probably clean enough. Well, once we get this old filter out, you'll actually see just how much junk, dirt, grime, and pollen can actually get inside of this filter. This is going to give us cleaner air inside of the cabin, and filters like the Fram Fresh Breeze are treated with Arm & Hammer baking soda to absorb even more odor and keep some of that nasty, nasty, stinky stuff outside of your car. First, we're going to start by pulling this seal away. You don't need to take this entire cover off, but it's going to make the job a little bit easier. Next, we're going to pull this cover away from the cowl trim and pull it towards the front of the vehicle. In order to clear the brake fluid reservoir, you're going to need to pull up on it and then go ahead and just pull it completely away. And you can see right here on our passenger side, this is our cabin air or pollen filter. Now, a couple of tips before you just go pulling this filter out. Notice that there's a lot of leaf debris on top of the filter. We want to remove that so that when we pull the filter out, it doesn't fall back behind and into the HVAC box. Another really good tip is to close the recirculation door, and that way if something does fall in, we can just reach down and grab it. Like I mentioned, the majority of pollen filters are super easy to replace. For this one, all we need to do is pull this locking tab up, and I'm going to just set this to the side so it doesn't go anywhere. Lift up a little bit on the filter and pull it straight out. You can see right down here, that's the blower motor for our HVAC system. If we didn't clean all the leaves and debris off the top, that debris could get down inside of there and make a ton of noise. Here's a bit of up close and personal at some of the dirt, debris, grime, and pollen that's caked into this filter. This filter is about a year old, and it's trapped a lot of dirt over that time. If it weren't for this filter, all this stuff would be inside of the cabin of our car. All right, let's go ahead and install the new filter. Now, I just popped into my local Walmart and picked this filter up right off the shelf. Here's your filter information. Also tells you what kind of car it fits. This is great because it actually does give you instructions on how to install these filters. All we do is we simply take the filter, lay it down in the housing, make sure it's fully seated. One other thing, you also want to make sure you follow the airflow direction as well. Our air is going to be coming in and down to the filter this way, so this is the proper direction of install. We put our tab back in. We do a quick check and make sure we have everything seated properly. Of course, clean up our mess. We'll finish off with the install of our cover. The key here too is to make sure this seal gets put back on all the way and correctly. It's what holds the front side of this trim on. Give it one final check, and we're good to go. And one final thing, the frequency of which these filters require replacement can vary depending on driving habits and region. Where I'm at, we get a ton of yellow pollen in the spring, so I usually replace mine about once a year. But remember, as always, check your vehicle's owner's book for replacement time, but don't be scared to check it at least once a year to see how much dirt, debris, and pollen is really trapped in that filter. As always, if you have questions and comments about today's episode, feel free to post them. If you like the video, throw it a thumbs up on YouTube. I always appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube and ding that notification bell, or over on the blog at HumbleMechanic.com. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course on Snapchat. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.